Hey everyone, it's Dr. White. This is White Orthodontics. We're excited to have you. This is where we live, work, and play, so enjoy. What do I do? I'm the doctor, so I'm in charge of dictating treatment plans, making sure that patients, the teeth are moving the right way, the bites are getting fixed, etc. Orthodontic treatment plan just is how we're going to make the bite fit together and how to make the smile the most optimized. There are lots of different tactics we use, whether it's rubber bands or using a handpiece to create space or Invisalign or brackets and wires, where we want certain teeth to move, where we want others not to move. They're all controlled with certain force systems with the Invisalign appliance or brackets and wires. And so each patient is unique in that. There are certain types of bites and smiles that are similar, but it's not a cookie cutter type of approach. It's more of a customized thing where we can really determine which teeth we want to move where. And sometimes that's making sure teeth don't move at all, which is important too. Also have the pleasure of being the, for lack of a better term, the CEO of the practice. So I make all the management decisions, business decisions, which we don't get a whole lot of training for in orthodontic residencies. So that's something that's self-taught. You can learn more marketing, you can learn more as it relates to systems management in a practice, all types of things, insurance, new buildings, architecture. There are so many different buckets to allocate your time towards that can be overwhelming at times, but you just find stuff that you gravitate to. So I did my undergraduate at Michigan State University, and then following those 5 years, played 2 years for the Colts. I had the privilege and the pleasure and blessing of playing in the National Football League, the NFL, for just a couple years with the Indianapolis Colts. From those back injuries ended that. Went right into dental school in 2000, whatever, it doesn't matter if you guys don't care about the timeline. So 4 years of dental school and then applied to orthodontics, so 2 more years of orthodontic residency. and then back in 2018 moved to Saginaw from Louisville, Kentucky, and now purchased Dr. Adams' practice, which is now White Orthodontics, and that's where we stand. I think the nice thing about orthodontics, a couple things. Dentistry in general was something, my dental appointments when I was growing up, I had great experiences. I never had to experience a drill or anything like that, so no pain associated with those visits, but always very nice, clean, the music playing overhead. Orthodontics specifically, I think is a little bit less taxing on the body. With dentists, you're always leaning over, drilling. For us, not so much. Maybe each patient I'm only bent over for a few seconds, just checking the bite, making sure the right decisions are being made. But from a lifestyle perspective, I always knew my ultimate responsibility was going to be leading other human beings in this world, aka being a parent. Like I said, my goal was to have a family, and this is a profession that really makes that more achievable, which is probably the most difficult challenge that I have in my life. But having the flexibility and the freedom to take time when I need to, or have a little bit less hectic of a schedule, is I think something that was very appealing to me. I could be more active in the community, kids sports teams, etc. So it really just affords me the opportunity to do a lot more of those things. It is a lot of school, so between the 4 years of undergraduate, 4 years of dental school, and 2 years of ortho, I was fortunate to have been able to sustain most of the dental school tuition from my NFL salary, but student debt is a huge factor as well, so you have to have a plan for that. A typical day for us, we usually have about 30 patients a day, which is on the lower end, I think, for an orthodontic practice. I've heard of some that have 100 with just one doctor. You don't really get a whole lot of human interaction when you're seeing that many patients in a day. But the way we do it with mostly Invisalign and our remote monitoring allows for fewer visits and more time for us to interact with the patients that do come in and establish connections, etc. So. On a day-to-day, if I'm only with each patient for, let's say, 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the length of the conversation, and there are only 30 patients, that leaves a lot of additional time for me to be doing other things like payroll and 401k and creating, like I said, systems and plans to help the practice grow, whether that's in marketing, like I said before. So I spend a lot more time in front of a screen than I would have anticipated, but I don't mind it. We got dual monitors and the blue light blocking glasses nowadays, so that works out well. But yeah, very important aspect of the job is when we communicate with other dental professionals. So we get a lot of patients who see a dentist and the dentist says, hey, it looks like you could benefit from orthodontics. And so it's up to us to communicate with those dentists, especially if there's teeth being taken out or teeth being added or things of that nature. And so making sure we're available and accessible to those dentists and hygienists and other specialists like endodontists, oral surgeons. So those are the types of things we deal with, and that's important because if the dentists can't trust us that we're handling the patients the right way and communicating with them, then they'll probably send them elsewhere. So, what types of things or qualities can you guys utilize or grow in yourselves that are going to make sure that you're successful no matter what you do? I think number one, you need to, if you're not sure what you want to do, you need to experience a lot of different things. I didn't study abroad. I didn't go to another country, learn another language. The more you travel, the more you expose yourself to other ideas, reading different types of books, the more you're going to learn. And you might have an epiphany where you're like, maybe I really like this instead. And that's fine. If you don't like something, that's growth too, because now you know, okay, this is something that I really don't want to do. So that, and then the ability to change and pivot. It's not quitting. You know, people say winners never quit, but like the way I view it is sometimes it's important to not quit, but pivot and change your plan. And some people might interpret that as quitting, but if you've used your inputs now to say, I want to do this, I don't want to do this, you know, is there going to be some hardship that you're going to have to push through? Yeah, absolutely. Persistence is critical, but those things I think are important. Had to do it over again. I like orthodontics. I think it presents a lot of challenges that create a sense of satisfaction for me. I think in another life I would have been maybe like an investment banker or some sort of business finance related thing, just because that's a passion of mine. And so I think that mixes well with the orthodontics. You know, I have to decide, well, today with my continued education on the computer, do I want to learn about how to move teeth more effectively, or new techniques, how to implement a more seamless payroll system or an HR management system where, because you have a team. It's just like any team that you guys have played on athletically or a class. You know, you have to make sure that people are dedicated to a common goal, and it's no different in the workplace than it is on a sports team. It really isn't.